All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
Coming back in, give all honor, praise, and glory to
Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah.
All right. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well. Yasha'Allah being Hebrew for Israel. Just going straight into it, man. It's a lesson. Some edification. Be basic, aka a minimalist, man. It's gonna be a little walk and talk on the trail right now. Pretty much, it's important to be basic, aka a minimalist, man, because it tells us this truth. It tells us in the scriptures real quick. Just for the example of the scriptures, like the ministry. It tells us in Habakkuk 2. I'm gonna get real quick. Because it doesn't take much. That's the whole point. What is a minimalist? A minimalist is pretty much, we're gonna probably get the definition on that. Basic necessities. You know? That's it. Stripping life down to just is basic necessities, man. Alright? Now, I'm trying to flip to the scripture. Here we go. Habakkuk 2 and 2. It says, and the Lord answered me and said, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that read it. So it doesn't take much. Just like this video, it don't take much. You know, just like doing this work, it don't take much, man. He said, just make it plain, write the vision, you know, get an understanding, get a visual of how things need to be, how you see yourself, plainly be that. It don't take too much, man. All right. Now I'm gonna let the brother get, and then we're gonna go into this thing real quick. You know, that's all it's about. It's about having just the necessities, man. Being sufficient. You know, like in the book of Eli, man. He was asked, because basically the book of Eli goes into like apocalyptic times. You know, post-apocalypse. I was actually reading pretty much I think, what is it, a biopic or something like that. I was going into basically what the movie was about the other night, and it was basically saying that the movie is actually going into it was basically a world war had happened. That's how they got to the point they was in. But anyway, getting into the point, Eli was asked by a guy, do he remember how the world used to be? And he was like, yeah, people had more than they needed. Well, go ahead and go into it, brother.
Minimalist. A person who advocates or practices minimalism in art or music.
Right, we probably need to get a bit better. Look up the word minimal. Go ahead.
A person advocating minor or moderate reform in politics.
So you're reforming. Moderate. So there go another word. You know, moderation. Let's get the word for minimal, brother. And moderate as well. That's another good word. You know? Knowing what these words, man.
So minimal. It's an adjective.
It don't take much to get understanding. It's all about being basic. You can use the minimal practices and pretty much everything, man. Because when you're being minimal, you're not stripping away stuff. You're only stripping away anything other than what you need.
Right, everything that's unneeded. That goes into the refining. You know, unneeded things. So, got the definition on minimal. It's an adjective. And it says, of a minimum amount.
You said this minimal?
Yep, minimal.
Okay.
Of a minimum amount. Quantity or degree. Negligible.
So it's the least amount of something, you know? But it's a scripture that go into that really quick. Let me get that real quick, brother. It's a good scripture on this real quick. It's a let me see if I can get it. You know, I should bring that up by the Spirit. But it tell you in the scriptures, it say, let me see. pretty much it tells you to say a lot and little, and saying a little, you know. And that's the minimal. That's the minimal part of talk. That's the least of talking, you know. But that's not saying don't say. But that's not saying that it's not efficient. That's why being a minimalist is really an efficient practice, man. You know, because the scriptures kind of pretty much teach be minimal. Matter of fact, let's post up right here. Let's post right here. Shalom, shalom. So I got that scripture. We continue to walk. This is Sirach 32:8. It says, "Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Be as one that knoweth and yet holdeth his tongue." So that's being minimal, man. You can obtain a lot, but you the guy only got like 3 t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? You the guy who you did a lesson on this too, but you brought out like 3 scriptures. You know what I'm saying? It's like 20 of them though. You know? So it's just it's because being minimal is not half doing it.
Okay.
It's just doing what it takes.
Right.
And that's it. You know, nothing extra, nothing more. You know, no side points, nothing like that. You know, it's just it's just it, man. It's deodorant and a toothbrush, you know? If deodorant, because a lot of brothers don't even deal with deodorant. We keep walking, brother.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, man.
This way.
Lift it up a little bit. If they gonna come over. Alright, never mind. But yeah, man. I got another scripture too. This is Sirach. This is Sirach Salakia. This is Sirach 7:14. Use not many words in a multitude of elders, and make not much babbling when thou prayest. You know, it's just about what's needed. You're not gonna say what you and when you're praying, you're not gonna say nothing extra but what you need. The Lord don't want to hear all the babbling. Man, you know, Lord, you know, man, you know, Lord, you know. You're like, Lord, I need to pay these bills. I need some money. I need some food. I need, you know. Whatever it is you're praying for, that's not vain. It should just be that, and that's it, man. Let me read it again. This Sirach 7:14. Use not many words in a multitude of elders, and make not much babbling when thou prayest. It's just about the bare necessities, man. That's it. Just simply what's needed. And I know the brother had more on the definition, so I'm gonna let him go into it.
So it's back to minimal. Again, it's the adjectives. It says at the minimum amount, quantity, or degree is negligible. And then it got a second definition here, and it says characterized by the use of simple or primary forms.
What's that word? Of what?
Simple or primary forms of structure.
See? That's it, man. Of what? What's that last word?
Primary forms or structures.
What's that last word?
Structures.
There you go, man. Because so that tells you that being minimal is still firm. It's still solid. Because it's structured. You know. It's efficient. Because it's structured. Being minimal still goes into structure. You see that? it's still a structure. You know? It's still sustainable, right? Let me get my last scripture, because it don't take much. It say, this is Sirach 40:18. And it reads, it says, to labor and to be content with that a man hath is a sweet life. Is a sweet life. But he that findeth a treasure above them, but he that findeth a treasure is above them both. So to labor and to be content with that a man hath is a sweet life, man. So just being able to labor, you know what I'm saying, and have your defense, have your daily bread, get your daily bread. That's all we need is our daily bread, you know, and to be content, because it say with littleness, with contentment and godliness is great gain, man. When you're able to be content with what you have while having godliness, that's great gain, man. And people just bought, you got people that went out and bought 3 new Porsches today, though. You know? They ain't really gained nothing. They didn't gain anything compared to the man of the Lord, you know? So that's pretty much it, pretty much what I want to bring out on that, man. You know, you have to see life for just what it just simply needs to be. Because when you're put in a position to only have that, or to not have anything, or to have the smallest amount of something, you're gonna be in good shape. You know, everybody else not gonna be used to that. It's like running a race. These are guys who wasn't working out and stretching. Come race time, they pulling hamstrings. You got first place in the medal, man. You in shape. You get in the ring. This guy, he's been, you know, bull jiving the last 8 weeks of training. He barely make weight, and then he get in the ring. He couldn't even go 6 rounds, and it went 12. You know, this guy was able to go all 12 rounds. You know, that's what it's gonna be likened unto, because you're just focusing on what it simply needs to be. They're not getting caught up into all this extra stuff, man. Life has become more than what it just simply needs to be, man. You know, you don't need, just be minimal, man. You know, it doesn't take that much it doesn't take a doctor trip, spending gas, going across the city just to go to the hospital for a bad cold. It simply takes just knowing about how to treat it. You know, some simple rest, some herbs, and that's it, man. Prayer, first and foremost. So be minimal, man. Lord willing, this lesson's been edifying. Let's say shalom.